So let's start out with just introducing yourselves, your team, your coach duo, and then if you could roll right into like how you guys started, how you.
Oh my gosh, do you guys want that, like the real story?
Yeah, of course.
Tell them.
Yeah, no, I did like it.
Yeah.
I did. Because, a lot of people can misconstrue the way Max is. I guess from the way she teaches, she's, an authority figure. And because she's a female trader, right, and in a space that a lot of females don't thrive, she's one of the very few females that do thrive, obviously. So it's like she has a different type of presence around her, and it's kind of annoying, for someone who's not used to that, right? And I just wasn't used to it. I'm like, hey, listen. And then her style, actually, at that time, wasn't even.
It wasn't as good.
It was pretty trash.
Oh my goodness.
It was pretty trash.
Okay.
Let's just call it what it is.
Didn't like it. My name is Coach Max, and I am the Director of Trading Education here at Youngevity.
My name is DeFrietas. I'm the head master trader at Youngevity. Funny enough, guys, we were a duo for about the past 3 years, but it didn't always start off smooth, I will say. We actually were traders initially for a prop firm. We were both just individual traders, didn't know each other. And then afterwards, our mutual friend of ours, actually knew Max and he knew me.
We were actually best friends to this mutual person. So I was his best friend and Ryan was his.
I was his best friend. So I was on his left-hand side, she was on the right-hand side. It was like, hey, you both are my best friends and you're both great traders. Why don't you guys
come together,
right? And on this platform, they needed a duo of traders actually to take over because the traders who were actually trading live for this particular platform or were leaving for whatever reason, we don't know. And so Max and I kind of got called on as backups, and last minute.
That's not exactly true.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not. So no, I was the one who was called in first. Let's be very clear on what happened.
Go ahead.
I was called in first, and I was the main trader for this platform for maybe a couple months. It was like 2 months. It wasn't long. And then Ryan was called in to partner with me, but because he didn't like my trading style, he declined.
Let's just call it what it is.
Didn't like it.
It was trash. And so I couldn't relate to it. Me being like such a veteran trader at the time, I'm like, who is this like amateur female? Thinks she's so good of a trader, but she's really like okay. She wasn't bad, but she's like, right? And so then my friend called me. He's like, hey man, can you hop on a session and start trading with my friend? And I'm like, Max? He's like, yeah, Max. I'm like, okay, all right. So then we get on the session, right? For the first time ever, like Max and I do this combined session, and we have hundreds of students on.
Yeah.
And close to like 1,000 students at the time. And so you have to remember, guys, like we have different styles, slightly different styles, especially at that time. So it was hard to kind of blend with each other. And again, nothing was rehearsed. Nothing was like, oh yeah, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to talk.
Didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, we just got on
together and we got into an argument.
Yeah.
And the students loved it. And after that session, it was like, they're like, oh my gosh, you guys agree. You guys are super entertaining. We can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Meanwhile, he and I are like talking to our mutual friend, like, this is not going to work, right, between us. And he was like, listen, you're good, he's good, get it together. And we essentially went from like 1,000 students on our calls to over 3,000 students on our calls. And we kind of tweaked our styles. We actually started trading like each other.
Yeah, we started to actually get better because we both actually had to trade, like forcefully trade with each other. So then we actually started to both improve,
right?
Which is another reason why we encourage traders to not have that lone wolf mentality,
right?
But to have a pack, to have a village, to have a group, a collective around you, because that's ultimately what's going to push you. And it's definitely pushed us through the years of having each other and having this trade teams around us to help us. So
the accountability now is on another level. Like, I don't think there's another trader that I would trust more than Ryan. And a lot of people that we know in the trading space would never let even a friend see their trading accounts, but we
do that all the time. It's pretty regular, So because again, there's going to be things that I can't see because I'm in my own head and I have my own perspective of things, and vice versa with Max. And there's been a bunch of times throughout our career where I just say, Max, you're messing up. And she'd be like, no. I'm like, listen, look, this is what you're doing wrong.
Right.
I have to get you out of your own head because you're not seeing it. You're in your own space, and vice versa. She would say, Ryan, you're messing up. And I'd have to bite the bullet because I don't want to hear it because I think I'm so perfect. I'm like, oh no, I'm the best trader. But it's not about that, right? Because everyone can improve. And everyone can learn and everyone can get better. No matter at what level you are as a trader, you can always get better.
Right.
And so she's definitely helped me. I've helped her. We've helped a lot of our trade team, a lot of our friends that way. And we encourage people to do that. But yeah, like our whole relationship stemmed on the fact that we didn't even like each other, which is completely funny now.
We still don't.
Yeah, pretty much. And, now we do sessions together. We trade live together. Do signals, everything, so it's definitely been a journey to go from not liking each other and your style was trash in the beginning to now actually trading together and improving each other's styles, and it is what you see today.
Right.
So on our live session calls, it started off with just like a few hundred, 100, 200, 300,
300,
right? And then eventually it got to the point after Max and I were doing sessions back to back for about 3 to 5 weeks roughly, and that call started to max out on Zoom. And again, we did it for completely free for everybody because we just wanted to help everyone and give back. And it got over 3,000 people, and that was the max for Zoom. So it was to the point where we didn't have really anyone, to the point after 3 to 5 weeks we had people banging on our inboxes like, hey, let me in, I'm in the waiting room. We're like, it's maxed out, bro. Like, we can't let you in,
Yeah.
And so we were like, wow, this is crazy, the hyper growth that we have.
Right.
And at that time, I didn't really have a lot of successful students because I was still, I would say, molding into my own career. Even though at that time was a six-figure trader, it's much different to be a mentor than it is a trader.
Yeah.
And a lot of traders can trade, but not a lot of traders can mentor. Yeah. And that is a skill in itself. And I had to learn that because I used to look at my students like, why can't you just do what I do? Right? And even though I have the patience, I had the strategy, there's a certain technique that you have to have and cultivate to actually give it in a way, showcase in a way, package it in a way that like the average person can just absorb it and replicate and do it.
Right.
Like in a 1, 2, 3 type of system. So I had to really learn that. So I had like students who were doing pretty well, but they weren't doing crazy numbers of 6 figures. But as I slowly got better, I started to have a whole lot more students doing better and better and better as well too.
So when I started out my trading journey, I immediately knew that I wanted to coach people. So when I first started, I think my first group of students was like 20, and my second group of students was like 100. This was stuff I was doing privately. And then when we started working together, we went from a couple hundred. Actually, when we joined that platform, it was only like 300 students there.
Yeah.
By the time we were done a year later, there was over 91,000 students on the platform. Then we transitioned over to a different platform, and there we had about 52,000, something like that there. And then as we began to just grow on our own, to date, probably like 136,000 students that we've counted total. Tons of success stories. We've had students all over the world change their lives really with our teachings, and some of them are still around today.
The main reasons why I think we really wanted to partner with Youngevity is because of the leadership and because of the people in it, and I'm definitely someone who believes like it all starts from the top down. It's the leadership. Leadership is everything. Like you can have a mediocre product, but if your leadership is top tier, you can make the product better, right? You can even have a great product, but with bad leadership, it's never going to go anywhere. And so I knew that what Max and I could do with this partnership is make the product better. Whatever it is, we can enhance it, we can transform it, we can mold it to whatever the people need, right? But it has to start with the right leadership, with the right team. And it's very hard to find. And we've been offered many different contracts and deals from a lot of different other platforms, and we respectfully declined because we just don't feel like it's in alignment with everything with what we're doing. It has nothing to do with their bad companies, just the alignment factor.
Right.
And I would say that Youngevity's alignment with us is 100%, which is the difference. Honestly, the unequivocal difference between this and some other company is the leadership. And then when they showed us the technology that they had, the automation that they had, that to me was like the icing on the cake that made me say, okay, now we're on to something here. Now we're on to the future. Now we know that AI is on the boom. Now we know that technology is on the rise, right? Everyone needs some piece of technology at this point to accelerate their life, right? Or you're going to be left behind.
Correct.
So, that's why we made that decision.
Right. And just to piggyback off of what Ryan was saying, Youngevity's platform so far from our experience has been extremely loving. And the fact that they love their students is important to us. So we've been a part of platforms where they didn't necessarily value the student experience, and here they do. So that for me was, aside from the leadership aspect, knowing that the students are going to be valued, respected, they're going to have the right guidance on their journey, let us know that we were in the right alignment. So yeah, we're excited.
So the one thing that I really like about Youngevity, right, is the software that they have.
Yeah.
And so I've never really used software in my trading, in my live trading especially, right? I've really just been keen on using my own trading systems, strategies, and techniques. But through Youngevity, we definitely see the benefit, right, of adding it as a confirmation to our trading. And not only that, seeing newbie traders getting breakthroughs and actually being able to get clear confirmations on how they need to enter the market.
Right. It's very important. So the Youngevity Trading Academy software so far, the way that we're going to implement it in our sessions is really showing the students how exciting it is to have tools. Because like Ryan said, like if we could even go back to the beginning of our careers, we didn't have tools.
No tools, zero.
We didn't.
I wish.
Really even speak to a moment where we had help, so much even a textbook or something to help us learn. So the fact that there's so much accelerated learning here at the Academy is going to be so fun to watch the students have even more success than what we bring to the table. It's just going to be an added confirmation.
Yeah. And the best thing I think that Youngevity really has going for them is because of the software, it's going to make it duplicatable for the average person. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. The duplication that we're going to see, that the average person can come in, get the software, get on our sessions, and really actually take control of their trading in an easy, systematic way. Not in a very like, oh, I have to figure this out, I have to study for 20 hours a day and, for years just to get it.
Like we did.
Exactly. So I really think that's going to be a game changer for most people.
I agree. Getting started with trading, we always want to kind of go back to who we are. So when we look at the Trading Academy, we want to emphasize 3 different types of students here. There's the new student who's going to need tremendous support. There's the student who maybe has been around the Academy for some time, they're experienced, but never made a withdrawal. And then there's the student that wants to take signals and just come to class and enjoy what's being given out. And for whoever that is watching, you can be a truck driver, a nurse, a single mom. What other kind of students we have? Our students over 50.
We have single parents, retired veterans,
college students,
disabled citizens, people who can't physically work, and they're stuck. So they're on disability, right? Or they have Social Security.
Right.
We have all different types of students from different walks of life.
All
over the world. Right. All ages, from as young as 13, 14, and like our oldest are in their 70s.
Right.
Which is crazy, right? So it's something that is actually bridging the gap between all age groups, because we're all learning one thing that's going to help everyone for their financial future.
Right. I agree. And I feel like no matter who you are, coming in and understanding that learning how to trade at this point in time, at this point with all of the things that are going on around the world, is extremely pivotal to your success.
The 1 year growth projection I have for this company is at least minimum 50,000 users, 50,000 customers, new students, understanding, profiting, and having fun learning about the market. Right? Like, I don't see how we don't hit that goal with the team, with the technology, with the experienced traders. It's virtually impossible, I believe, for someone to come in here and not get the value that they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Right. And for a 5-year projection, I don't see how we're not the number one Forex company in this space, honestly. I don't even want to just say MLM, because I don't think of Youngevity as an MLM.
Agree.
I think of it as a company that is really going to help people with their trading in the financial future. I think it's going to go beyond the scope of just MLM. And that's why I say the number one trading company.
Right. Agreed. A year from now, we definitely want to touch, again, I can agree with the number 50,000. It'd be great to reach 100,000.
Yeah, that's
That'd be amazing if we get that far. And one of the things about the academy is that once I feel like people catch wind of what it is that we teach, it's going to catch fire. So hitting our projected goals, I feel like it's going to be an easy thing. 5 years from now, definitely the number one trade. Anything else is just not acceptable.
It's going to be irrelevant.
Anything number 2 is not acceptable over here. So number 1 is where we are, and that's where we're going to stay for the next 5 years.
I honestly believe, under my tutelage, that everyone will be successful. And it's for a plethora of reasons, honestly. It's because I've been trading 8 years, and I'm not saying everyone throws the number. Like, I've been trading 10 years, I've been trading 20, and but the years in trading really isn't as important. But I guess all the study time, because guys, like, I've really slept, eat, breathe when it comes to trading. Like, that's all I did. Right? That's all I did for a long time, to the point where I sacrificed my health, I sacrificed my relationships, I sacrificed family time, I sacrificed everything for the cultivation, for the mastery of this skill, I would say. And there's some pros and cons to that. Like, yes, I can trade really well now, but I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And because of those mistakes, I became a mentor, because I didn't want the next batch of people, the next generation, the new wave of traders, to go through years and years of torment, of trials and tribulations that I went through. I went through a lot of crappy mentors. I've went through a lot of crappy groups, a lot of companies, a lot of platforms that really fed you just retail garbage and things that you don't really need to know. And we're going to teach you things that you truly need to know. Right? There's a difference in the level of expertise that we bring to the market, and not just that a level of care and passionate, way of presenting things to you, that I think that it just really isn't replicated or duplicated among any other mentor or duo like me and Max, to be honest. So I think, like, what we bring to the table is unparalleled, and you guys are going to see that on sessions and in the academy.
I must say, I'm very proud of you for that answer. That was the nicest version of that.
I try.
That made me laugh listening to that, because Ryan's usually like the best. Like, what do you mean? Hire who else?
You gotta keep it PG to this.
For me, I'm just gonna be Max. Like, who better to teach you than me? You know what I mean? I have been around the block for 7 years now. I have held very high positions on multiple boards in this space, and there's just a certain way that I believe students should be taught, and most times we just don't see it. A lot of students feel left out. New traders feel like they're being thrown into a pool of sharks. You have students that come in and want to take signals, and they're also ignored. So because we have kind of gotten it down to a science to the type of student that we cater, there's certain things that Ryan and I bring to the table. I bring a lot of structure, organization, business expertise, just understanding the different archetypes of people to the table, as well as being a great trader. And he's like an amazing instructor, very assertive. And he's also much a people person. He loves people, and he's very patient as a trader and as a coach. So those things combined makes learning from us going to be probably one of the funnest experiences you have.
For sure.
Yeah.
Fun. Aggressive.
Max is. Let's start from there.
Max is aggressive, rude. Max, she's a character, man. She's very animated, as you guys can see.
Yeah.
She's very passionate. She is very structured, very disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
And the one key word that strikes to me more than anything, she's a strategist, right? She really thinks about things before she puts it together. And so when we create curriculums for you guys, when we create sessions, whatever it is we create, just know there's a lot of thought being put into it, because we have you guys in mind 100%. And I think that is a void that a lot of companies don't realize, is like when they put things together, they need to get out of the CEO or corporate.
What are you thinking about?
Like, right, what is your audience?
Right.
Right, like who's your target?
So if I could describe how the students view Ryan as a mentor, as a coach, I would say that he's like their trading sensei. Like, he literally runs his class like a dojo. And it's so funny to watch because he has such structure and discipline to the way that he teaches and the way that he conveys all of the concepts to them. So, if I had one word to describe his style or his teaching technique, it would be strict, for sure. Strict, patient. He's fun, but it's strict. You don't like certain
I'm
things.
not really too strict.
You are.
Maybe a little bit.
You are. They would agree with me. We'll do a poll later in film.
But yeah, I would say for Max, man, this is honestly
A very deep question.
It's a very deep question, because there's a lot of characteristics when it comes to you as a teacher and a mentor, as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
But the one word that sticks out to me the most when it comes to Max, when it comes to the students, would be accountability.
This is true.
Oh, I know it's true.
That's the number one.
I know it's true.
This is very
So accountability would be the biggest word, because she's very firm on doing what you need to do, right? And doing it the way that you said you would do it, right? And whether that's studying, whether that's executing properly, whether that's writing your why or getting your trade plan structured, or doing the things that you need at home to structure your trades properly or your environment properly. Like, she's homework
is serious.
right, she's very big on like checking up on you to make sure that you are on track to hit your goals,
Right.
when it comes to trading, because you need that coach that's going to be on you, that's going to say you're messing up.
Right.
You need that coach who's going to tell you when you maybe don't want to hear it, right? They're going to tell you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear.
Right.
And those are usually the best coaches in life, right? In any aspect, in any sport, in any realm. When a coach can give it to you raw, and sometimes you might not like, you might have to bite the bullet, but you're like, dag, after a month, you're like, they helped me out. I'm glad you said that, because it helped me. Like I said, my journey started 8 years ago. To me, I refer to myself as a trading grandpa. I feel like I'm old. And I'm only 33, right? But I started in 2013. And
10 years?
It's been close to, 10 years. And my first 3 years, like I said, I didn't even make a withdrawal. Did not make one single penny. I lost tens of thousands of dollars every single year. And after that third year, I finally had my breakthrough of turning $2,000 into over $100,000 in like 5-6 weeks. And that was my breakthrough. I literally got on my knees, thanked God, like, oh my God, like, but here's the problem. I thought I was gonna be like the next Bill Gates. I thought I was gonna be Jeff Bezos on a yacht, with like 5 models, like, yeah, this is me, yeah. I thought that was gonna be me. And I got slapped with reality because literally 3 days later, I lost 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Ooh, that hits you hard. Right after making 100,000, in 2-3 days, you just lose half of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I got so scared that I just withdrew everything, and psychologically, I had to take a break from the market. Right? And I'm saying this because I had my breakthrough, but even after having my breakthrough, I still realized I had a lot of work to do as a trader.
Yeah.
A lot of psychological work, right? A lot of technical work, because I truly believe to hit 6 figures isn't that hard as a trader. I think everyone can do it. But to get to that next level, to get to that 7-figure,
Different
8-figure, not a different type of level of discipline,
Yeah.
structure, psychological mastery that you have to have in order to get to that realm. And I wasn't ready for that, right? But it took me about 3 years of just working on myself, even after that, to get to like the level of mastery that I am now. And, you know, that was really my breakthrough. I'm really proud of that moment of when I really stepped into actually withdrawing and making money, because even though to me in my head it was a failure, a lot of people were telling me like, Ryan, it was a win, man. You made 50,000 in like, you know, 40-50 days. How many people can say that they did that? Right? And I knew if I could do it once, I could do it again.
Right.
Right? And I know if I could do it more than, and which I did do more times after that, but I knew if I could do it multiple times, that I could teach it to others. And that's when I started to become a mentor, was when I realized, okay, I actually may be onto something here. So
Interesting. He never goes this deep.
now I know it.
It's good to hear you go this deep. So for me, my story is a little bit different. I came into trading knowing that I wanted to teach others. Because I felt like growing up the way that I did, that I grew up in New York City. So growing up, and you know, automatically New York Stock Exchange, and you're like, wait, everybody talks about stocks, but nobody talks about foreign exchange. So when I finally learned what it was, I did my best to kind of like teach some of my peers. I just started teaching because I knew I wanted to day one. I was like, I have to teach this. And in order to teach something, you have to master it. So I knew without the results of making withdrawals and things of that nature. It's so funny to listen to Ryan talk about that, because I'm the queen of withdrawals. Like, I came into this like, I have to clear my debt. I have to take care of my daughter. Like, there's certain metrics that I have to hit, right? And this money has to be real. And I started to post my withdrawals all over social media. And that's when people started to approach me. They're like, okay, no, you're doing this for real, right? This is not you talking about this. This is not, you know, how some people like to like just show the account itself, but never show the money. And that's also another concept that I teach to students. It is not real until it hits your bank account, right? And
Right.
you can make it a reality for yourself. It doesn't have to be $100,000 like what Ryan is talking about. It could be $100 to put gas in your car. It could be $50 to buy diapers for your child. Like, it needs to be real though,
Yeah.
for you, so that you can understand that this is real. And it was at that point for me, when I started to do that for myself, that I became Coach Matt. So that came from me very early in my career. It didn't take years. It took maybe 3 months. And I was like, I'm doing this for real.
There's no better platform here. Like, you know, you have the best of the best when it comes to every realm. When you talk about the leadership, then when you talk about the education, when you talk about the structure, when you talk about the traders here, when you talk about the software, and you combine all of that and house all of that together,
Why would you not join us now?
it's unbeatable.
Right.
That's why I said there's no other company that is going to be number one in the trading.
No way. We are the 2 best traders in the space. We have the track record of doing what it is that we do. We don't lose often, and we teach our students not to lose often. And with results like that,
Oh, and by the way, we've been live trading in front of our students for how long?
4 years straight.
Okay, exactly. How many mentors can tell you that?
Right.
Anyone can teach you a strategy. Anyone can give you some videos.
Right.
And will say, this is the indicator that I've been using. But how many of them can actually live trade in front of their students for years on end
Right.
and still have those students still want to be a part of their sessions?
Right.
Very rare.
Very.
You want to know why it's very rare? Because as a trader, when you are live trading in front of your own students, you are putting your reputation at risk every single time. So guess what? If I have losing days back to back to back, or I have a losing week or 2 weeks, I look like a flunky to all my students.
Okay.
Right? I look like a hypocrite. I look like I'm teaching you something, but look, we're all losing. Right? And safe to say we haven't really had a lot of losing weeks in these years.
No, we haven't.
Of course, losing days here and there, you're going to have that. But we haven't really had a lot of losing weeks, and we've been live training for 3 to 4 years. So we teach our students that as well, too. So I think that's why we have maintained the level of profitability and honestly, retention when it comes to our students. And so who better to learn from than 2 mentors who have been live training for students for years.
Right.
To have the game on lock.
Right. So, I always say making the decision to get started with trading is one of the most pivotal moments that you can take into your life. It's like learning a new language, except this language is a skill set. So it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to change the trajectory of you and your family's lives. And this is that decision. So don't think about it. Just join us and we'll see you on the inside.
Who's sexier than us? Why would you not want to join? Look at me. Look at me. Look at Youngevity. Look. Come on. What's going on? You're so funny. I know that was. I don't think I'm gonna take that, but.